And as with our other, we're going to use the same format, 2-minute opening statements, 15 minutes of questions. And Ms. Balfour gets to begin with a 2-minute opening statement.
I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Can you hear me? Yes. I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. And I definitely want to reach out to those students that I taught.
Try it again.
That's not working.
Slam it.
Jerry.
Yeah, okay.
I want to thank everybody for being here tonight.
No.
I want to thank everyone. I want to thank everyone.
Why don't you thank me and take this one?
Thank you. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight, especially my former students. Yeah, who I taught public speaking skills. Well, remember that trick that we talked about in class about how to relax in front of a crowd? Well, picturing everyone naked doesn't work. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sandy Balfour. I've worked in Citrus County for 17 years, from the elementary, middle, high school, and as an assistant principal. It's been a long ride, and through the journey, I've heard many stories from many people. Currently, I'm serving as a board trustee for the College of Central Florida, and we'll be talking about our system here at the next board meeting. Over the many years, I've had parents and students and teachers and administrators share their concerns. Tonight, they're here sharing their support, and I thank them all for being out here. It's important for us to understand there's a lot going on behind the closed doors. Our school system is like a polished car. It looks really bright and shiny on the outside, but those of us that are close can hear the engine knocking. It's time for a leader with a deep understanding of curriculum, who possesses leadership experience and has a proven record of success within the system. As a national board certified instructor, I've contributed to the success of our district's A rating. However, we are not being told the whole truth. The bar's been lowered, resulting in almost half of the 67 districts in the state of Florida earning that A rating. We must stop hiding behind that A rating. We are the 14th district in a state that is 46th in the nation, in a nation that's 25th in the industrialized world. Our teachers, our students, and our parents are frustrated with the system flaws, and we need to address them. Even after the bar measuring success was lowered, we still do not have an A-rated district that has an A-rated high school. I called Tallahassee this morning just to check in, and they said that we still don't have the scores ready. They are still working on evaluating the high schools, and they won't be ready until December or even January. We can't be satisfied with that. We cannot wait for Tallahassee. We need to aim higher now.
Good evening. I am Sam Himmel, your superintendent of schools. Real quick, today the Orlando Sentinel just published that the state of Florida just dropped today to be 11th in the state of 50 states. We are 11th. I don't know where 46 came from. Florida has been 5th in the nation for 4 consecutive years. They dropped to 11th today because of the way Florida receives funding. I don't know where 46 came from. You've heard me share many times over the past few months about our high school performance, and as proud as I am about our rankings, we did not achieve this alone. This is a reflection of our community as a whole and your involvement in our schools. Whether you've been a volunteer, substitute, mentor, veteran in the classroom, whatever you serve to our schools, you are part of our successes. My opponent has made the statement that our school district's ranking in the state is nothing to be proud of. I stand before you tonight to tell you that I'm very proud of our accomplishments, our achievements, of our school district, of our teachers, and of our students. For the past 7 years, we've been an A-rated district. For the past 6 years, our district has been recognized as an academically high-performing district. That means that we've met our class size amendment, we've maintained our A rating, we are financially sound, and we've had excellent audits. Citrus County is one of 12 districts out of the United States chosen to partner with the Bill and Melinda Gates College Readiness Project. I led the charge to increase our graduation rate, and we've done that. Under my leadership, we've increased our graduation 14%. All your high schools are over 90% graduation rate. Our dropout rate at our high schools is less than 1%. U.S. World News Report looked at 22,000 high schools across the United States. 2 of our high schools are ranked in the top 5%. 1 of our high schools is ranked in the top 8%, all because of rigorous instruction. Although our district's budget has decreased nearly $15 million in the past 4 years, we have maintained our high performance. Unlike other districts across the state, our district has preserved programs such as your art programs, your music, arts, all of our arts, athletics. My record, and I stand on my record shows that I've been an effective, successful leader. My record shows that we have a plan in place, we live our plan, and continue to see student achievement every year. I ask for you to vote to keep your superintendent, Sam Himmel.
We'll now begin with questions for the next 15 minutes, and Kurt Evans will begin.
Superintendent Himmel, you mentioned that you, under your leadership, the district has become an A district for 7 years and a high-performing district. How does that stack up with other districts statewide, and what would you do to improve upon that?
District-wide, we've been a high-performing district for the past 6 years. We are one of 6 districts that has maintained that performance for 5 consecutive years. Next year, there's only 3 districts left in the state of Florida that can even keep that status, and Citrus County is one of those districts. We have a plan in place. The minute our FCAT scores come in, our principals meet every night for about a week. They go over every piece of information. So everything that they look at where we've made our achievements, they look at where we have some other areas of concern, and then they put processes in place. So every day our principals are working with students. We have students at all levels. The difference between our teachers and what my opponent teaches, our students are in classrooms with every level, from level 1 to level 5. Our teachers differentiate their instruction, and they meet the needs of those students.
Ms. Balfour, the same question.
Yes. Regarding improving our schools, the key focus needs to be not focusing on FCAT results. FCAT is a tool that was designed and implemented in 1996. It's a very young, standardized measurement tool. The problem with focusing on FCAT is that it only compares one district to the other district. My goal is to aim beyond comparing ourselves with Levy County, Marion County, and any other county. We need to go with a measurement tool that measures success with a standardized instrument that has a track record of success. She's not sure where those figures come from, and I understand that. From the school classroom environment, you have a deep connection and you understand exactly what is happening and what impacts our students. The ACT test is the most frequently used source for information comparing national data. It's over 50 years old. So with that, guiding our direction and our instruction and ensuring that our students have a foundation of core skills that they can build upon once they exit, they will be able to enter the workforce or the college and achieve success.
Ms. Himmel, we've been talking here about the school ratings, A districts, and so forth. What do those grades mean out in the real world? These are internal measures of the school system. what do they mean outside of the school world?
Well, first of all, even in the school world, our rating does not show what we do every single day in our classroom. It is the A rating in our middle school and our elementary schools is based on achievement, testing, FCAT scores. Our high school ratings are rated on attendance and acceleration and the scores of the testing. I will tell you that our scores in our district represents a lot of things. When you get a grade in from the state, and they are based from the state rankings, our district has a lot of heart, and we build a lot of relationships, and the reason that we are successful is because of the heart that our teachers have to step far beyond the call of duty to meet the needs of all students. But I will tell you, as long as there's a graded system, we're very proud to keep our A, and when you compare it to what corporate America does, they have their gradings the same way as we do.
And you too, Ms. Balfour. Same question. Same question.
Same question?
Same
A-rated?
question.
Okay. So how, again, restating that question, how does the A rating transition into the real world? In the real world, the A rating is not utilized. In a corporation, and I've had a corporation, I started from scratch. I opened my own business, had a sub-S corporation, built it and sold it, and it was successful. We don't have A rating systems. We have goals. In the corporate world, the business world, you establish goals that are realistic with clear expectations outlined. So how does the A rating transition into the real world? I'm still waiting for that answer myself. I've not seen it.
Ms. Balfour, Superintendent Himmel said that our high schools have a graduation rate of 90% or better. Is that good enough for you? And if not, what will you do to improve it?
I think it's important to understand how the graduation rate breaks down. There are different levels of degrees that walk across the stage. We have degrees that will open doors for your future, that will give you the opportunity to walk into a program like this, the College of Central Florida, or a university of your choice. We have other degrees that will take you in a different direction. My goal is to focus in and bring the graduation rate of the standard diplomas to a higher level. There are a lot of different ways you can spend data. It's critical that we make sure that we're setting our goals to attain what's necessary to meet every individual student's needs, whether it's high-level gifted or whether it's a student that is struggling. Every single student counts. And when you look at my brochures that are on your chairs, you will find resources that are cited at the bottom of the data. So if you have any questions about where I'm pulling my numbers from, you can easily access those by just checking the source.
Superintendent Himmel, the 90% high school graduation rate, are you satisfied with that? And if not, do you have a plan to improve it?
We're never satisfied with 90%. We always set our goal at 100%, but let me explain to you how graduation rates are developed. We have a cohort of ninth graders that start in a year. That number is tracked until that group graduates from high school. The number of students, real simple, that starts in ninth grade, the number from when they graduate as seniors, the state calculates that as a 4-year calculation. Our high school graduation rate includes our ESE students, and many of those students do not graduate in 4 years. The graduation rate is only calculated on students who graduate within 4 years. I will always be proud to educate and to educate and to graduate an ESE student, whether it takes them 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. I don't care. Many of them get diplomas. More of them are going to college than ever before. Our high school graduation also includes Cypress Creek, and many of those students are not our students. So 90%, no, we're not satisfied with 90%. The school board and I have set a goal at 100%, and every year, and since my leadership has began in Citrus County, we've increased it 14%, and we look forward to increase more.
We'll address this question to both candidates, starting with Ms. Balfour. What should the administration do for, for teachers whose students are not performing well with standardized tests, or for teachers who have a low percentage of their classes passing standardized tests? What should the administration do?
The key is training. The key is support. The key is to make sure that you have what it takes to make sure that those students are successful in that classroom. I've been with teachers that are struggling for many reasons. And a lot of times those reasons are not anything to do with attitude, behavior management. It's simply a lack of training. It's important to understand that you cannot teach unless you have the attention of the students. The first priority is to make sure our teachers are equipped with a good behavior management plan so that instruction can take place for everyone in the classroom, not just the chosen few that choose to sit in the front row. It's important for teachers to feel support. Teachers need to feel support. When they have that support, they will succeed with clear expectations of what top quality performance looks like. Goals need to be set.
Mrs. Himmel.
I will first defend all of our teachers in the Citrus County School District. I do believe they've been trained. I believe we've got some of the greatest teachers out there that have made every one of our students successful. We've got students. We talk about Common Core standards, and we won't get into that. That's for another day, but those are standards that are coming down the pike in the next few years, which will be nationally ranked and adopted standards. Our teachers have already been trained. We've sent teams to every school. They're out there. They've been trained this summer, so the training's not the issue. What the issue is that we need to make sure that we provide resources to our teachers where they can differentiate their instruction. So if they've got a level 1, 2, and 3, unlike the state says if you're not successful, test them again. That is not the answer. I defend what our teachers do. Our teachers go far beyond the call of duty of what they need to be doing. And I just tell you that we are successful with our students, and we continue every day to look at different programs. We have labs in the high schools to bring students up, and we have programs, computer labs in our elementary, middle schools to make sure that our students get more one-on-one training.
Superintendent Himmel, prior to your election as superintendent, what was the largest budget and total number of employees that you were responsible for, and how did that prepare you to become superintendent?
Well, before I became superintendent, I was also a school board member for 8 years, and if I had to attribute any training to be prepared for superintendent of schools, it was that I was a school board member for 8 years. Sitting in that seat for 8 years, I learned our budget, I learned our processes, I learned different policies, what we could do, what we can't do. And when I was stepped into the office of superintendent the first day, I was ready to jump in with both feet and move forward.
Thank you. Ms. Balfour, same question to you. What has been the largest budget and total number of employees that you have been responsible for, and how do you feel that's prepared you to become the superintendent?
Looking at the College of Central Florida as a board trustee, this is my 4th year. We have 3 counties that we service with 3 different campuses, Levy, Marion, and of course this campus. Our budget has gone from $45 million down to $38 million, and yet we still provide services to over 15,000 students. It's critical to understand that the budget that we deal with, whether it is as a board for the school system here or within our own control, the state has set up a structured mandate. When those dollars come in, based on how many kids are in a seat, they tell us how to spend it. What I would like to do is to generate a relationship between those in Tallahassee to give them a better understanding of what our needs are here locally. Prior to being a board trustee, again, I've owned a business. Prior to that, I've served on multiple boards, the YMCA founding board in Lakeland, the Economic Development Council board, as well as an ambassador for the Chamber of Commerce. I've had multiple layers of leadership roles, and that's why we need to have diversified leadership that is proven. Leadership in the classroom makes a difference in leadership at the top, and that's what's missing. Someone with a strong foundation, understanding what it takes to get the job done on the front line. We need someone that has a deep understanding of what's missing. I know the pieces of the puzzle, and I certainly know which ones are missing at all levels.
Thank you.
Mrs. Balfour, one question that has been raised in this campaign is that you have not attended meetings of the school board. Is that an important issue?
Well, I tell you, back when Ansel Briggs used to run, I attended, and I saw the impact of having a candidate sitting there, and I didn't want to be that person. We have technology that brings the school board meetings into our homes. I've been monitoring school board meetings since 1993, which is when we moved up here. I've been watching and pulling data for 17 years. I am very, very tuned in to what's happening behind the closed doors of education. And I have more of that to share in my closing statement. Stay tuned. Please do not take a break.
Mrs. Himmel, your response.
Yes, I do think it's important that all candidates attend any meeting on what position they're getting ready to go into. There's a lot of dialogue that never shows up in a minute.
I know that.
We just became electronic. We just went live, and everything else has been monitored by, or given out by minutes. There's a lot of things that go on at a board meeting, and to be ready to step in as superintendent and in an effort to attend a board meeting, I do think that's critical.
To wrap up the questions, there is a referendum on the ballot for a quarter mil tax. The ballot says add, but actually we're voting to maintain what was approved in 2010. How important is that quarter millage to maintain that to the success and performance of the school district? Question for both candidates. We'll start with Superintendent Himmel.
That quarter mil money was voted on by the school board to put on the referendum. That would generate about $2.5 million for our operating costs, and that is very critical so that we can maintain more programs than the programs we already have in place for acceleration as well as remediation.
I definitely encourage you to support the school board and support the students. We need to have those dollars. We are budgeted to spend those dollars. The problem that I have with those dollars is the fact that the state is requiring at this point that those dollars not be used for any capital outlay. We have projects, construction projects, that are in limbo because of that. We're going to have to dig into other resources in order to finish these projects. What I would ask our legislators, if they would please give us the flexibility that's needed here at the local level and let us do what's necessary to meet the needs that we have at a local level. We need to have local control. We need to understand that it's the person that's here possesses the greatest depth of knowledge about what needs to happen here, not those sitting in Tallahassee. So I'm hopeful that I'll be able to bridge and build a relationship that will bring a voice to Tallahassee to deal with the issues that are plaguing us year after year after year.
Statement, and we will start with Superintendent Himmel.
I'm probably going to start my 2 minutes, but before, the referendum was not a state mandated for capital. The school board, that was a school board decision on where to put that referendum. So it's not state mandated. Our school board elected to make that and put that in our operating funds. Being superintendent is a hard job. We have 17,000 students in our community, 2,200 employees, and $200+ million budget. Running this district is not only about being in the classroom. It is also providing a full range of service to our students and all of our staff. Many facets go into this job, and throughout this campaign, I've yet to hear my opponent talk about the other side of our school district. Professional development is one of the most important things we do. Maintenance and facilities. They maintain and improve over 3 million square feet of building space. Food service serves over 10,000 lunches every day. Transportation, 150 buses, approximately 14,000 miles driven a day on those buses. It's a lot. Every one of our departments are audited by the state of Florida. Every one of those departments have received excellent and audits from the state. When they are excellent and superb, it doesn't happen without strong leadership. You've heard me talk about educating our students. You've heard me talk about the business operations. You've heard me talk about what a superintendent needs to know to take over this job. However, you've heard my opponent in the past talk about language. You've heard him talk about phonics and whole language and vocabulary list. Her limited scope of talking points demonstrates her lack of knowledge and experience outside the classroom. This job is about leadership, effective, successful, and proven leadership. It's about the passion, the love that I do every single day. This is about caring for every child. If a child has a good friend, a warm meal, prepared for life, or even money for the prom. It's about creating and maintaining a system with the most talented and effective people, teaching our students and increasing our achievements. It's about going home today and getting ready for tonight and receiving an email from a soldier overseas, and I did not know this person. And the quote was, "Dear Superintendent Himmel, around election time, I research every ballot, choice to try, and get a read on what is happening back home. Your proven leadership in the school district and your impressive list of community involvement are more than good enough to get my vote." I couldn't say it any better than he did. Citrus County's in my blood, my mind, and my heart, because we cannot reach the minds of our kids until we meet their hearts, and that's what Citrus County Schools is all about. Again, I thank you for coming tonight, and I ask for your vote to keep your superintendent, Sam Himmel.
I'm ready. As your superintendent, I want to increase performance with students in all areas. Students must be ready to enter the real world. They need to know banking and insurance terminology, and they need to know how to be responsible consumers. They need to know what it takes to be prepared for their financial future. The use of technology should be included. However, mastering core skills must be required. Students should be able to count change, do basic math, and they should be able to write a letter without worrying about spell check access. We need to establish a curriculum with grade levels, with clear expectations that reach from one role to another. And we need to make sure that we create efficient and effective internal systems. By balancing workloads, creating job journals, and implementing a 2-to-1 job training program that will reduce the impact of staff changes. Due to job shuffling, taxpayers lost over $500,000, and that's never been recovered. We need to work with our school board and establish policies to report accurate dropout rates. Because of the way the district currently manipulates numbers, students are being counted as if they were attending school when they've never entered the building. Some kids are on the roster for over 100 days of absence. Parents are actually being encouraged to teach their kids at home. Our homeschool numbers are off the charts. Over 800 students are in homeschool programs. We need to ensure a safe, fair, equitable working environment for both students and staff. In 2009, my opponent altered the nepotism policy, which is the ability to show favoritism to family members, regardless of qualification. As your superintendent, I will ensure fair hiring practices. It will no longer be who you know, but what you know. And appointments will be reduced. Appointments will be reduced, and a committee interview process will be established. As a previous business owner, educator, and as a community leader, and as someone that reads the paper that describes the fact that that millage rate has boundaries and will not be able to be used for capital outlay, which was in the Chronicle just the other day, I understand that you have to have a deep, deep connection to what's going on the front line of the classroom, because that's where those A ratings are established. That's where it starts. The success for those kids starts there. And I know the connections that need to be made, and I understand the frustrations of the teachers and the parents. We need change, and we need it now, and I'm asking for your vote.